Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to interview a recent graduate from University of British Columbia, Canada. Utkarsh Sharma is a civil engineer who migrated to Canada as an international student to pursue his master's in structural engineering. After graduating from UBC, he got a job as a civil engineer and currently he is working as a project coordinator. So in this video, we are going to ask Utkarsh few questions about his journey at UBC Canada. He is also going to share his personal overview on the course load, the job opportunities after you graduate, even the job opportunities you have when you are studying at UBC. He also will share his experience about being a graduate assistant and the things you can keep in mind, when you are applying for UBC to increase your chances of getting accepted. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. So, hi Utkarsh, welcome to the channel. I know you are a great candidate for this interview because you are not only UBC graduate, but you also have experience in your field as an engineer and as a project coordinator. So, I think your inputs will be very helpful for international students. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Harsh. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Definitely. Let's start with the first question. You are a UBC graduate. You did your master's from UBC after
Mhm.
graduating from India in your field of civil engineering. So, why did you select UBC as compared to other universities?
What happened is like when I decided that I finally want to go for masters, I wanted to go to a country just not for studying, but just for like settling as well. So I was
Mhm.
looking for options which can offer me both. And then UBC came through my radar. I said like, okay, that seems to be a good university, but I don't know if I'm gonna get in because my bachelor grade was I think 8.7. So I was like, I still did not have like a stellar percentage. So I was like, but there are a lot of people who will get into UBC, but I might not be one of them. But then I said, okay, whatever it is, I'm just gonna apply. So
Mhm.
I put together a good application package according to me, and fortunately, I got good marks in IELTS as well. And I think those were the two factors that helped me get through. Honestly, to get like one shot formula to get into get admission into UBC is no one knows, because I've seen people with getting 94% grade not getting in, and I've seen people getting 78% getting in, which is like that doesn't match. So it's like they see the overall profile and where you're coming from, why do you want to do it. So what you write in an application package mattered
Mhm.
more than your grades, I would say.
Okay,
Definitely.
so according to you, your application letter or what we say an SOP is very helpful, right, for an applicant to get selected. So let's talk about that. What did you
Mhm.
write in your SOP and what do you recommend people, write? Because once you are in the university, you can talk to other candidates as well and you can get input from that too. So for a new applicant who is trying to apply to UBC, what do you recommend they write in their SOP?
I would say when you're putting together an SOP, the one thing I you should really be focusing on that it should be very personalized and it
Mhm.
should be very connected and it should flow. By flow, it means it your experiences up to that point should add up to how you're gonna make it to the future and how you see UBC as a goal, like as a goal in your greater goals in life. So
Mhm.
that's how I wrote it. I wrote it that where I'm coming from, how many internships I've had, why is UBC a good place for me. I also wrote that the weather is favorable for an international student in BC as compared to other parts of Canada.
Mhm.
And I guess things, it's little things like those. So do your homework, I would say, is it worked in my favor. And again, it's always a tad bit of luck. So it's not like you can put a stellar application together and it might still not be the best thing. But it's like you have to give your like best foot forward.
Definitely. And once you get admitted in UBC, right, what does the university do for international student, to get them get used to the culture of the university as well as the culture of the country, right? Because it's very hard for an individual, a young student, to come to a different country and, get settled. What do you think UBC does?
Most certainly. We do have like it's very different for on a graduate level and an undergraduate level in UBC. So undergraduate level, it's more involved. So like you have more societies that take care of you.
Hmm.
But for masters, I would say you do have connections, you do have societies, but the course load is way too high, and you got to do it way faster so that you are more into your studies rather than our cultural groups. But
Hmm.
as of UBC, it's a big university. you have lots of association. As far as like, unfortunately come from a background in India, so you have a lot of Indian folks around you, and then you have a lot of societies that you can work with, and you always find someone who would like help you out somewhere.
Hmm.
For international students, UBC does have associations like International Students Association that helps you with your visa stuff, and they also help you get a co-op. Like there's a co-op society as well. So there are like a bunch of organizations. Again, if you got an admit, congratulations. But the only thing that you should be doing after that is just researching and make the most of all these resources. There are resources that help you with editing your resume, putting you in touch with the industry professionals. There are so many networking events, like there's probably one every month.
Definitely.
So it's great, but like you have to be proactive, you have to make use of it. And I think after an initial session of orientation, I don't think I had much of it, but because you find your peers and then you learn through them, so like learn to listen to your peers too. Seek
Okay.
help, it's going to help
Yeah.
you.
But so you are from a master's program, right?
Yes,
you were registered in under a master's program in UBC, and you are mentioning that the course load was pretty hectic, right? So can
it was very
you
hectic.
please describe about the course load? How were you able to manage it and how hectic it was?
So let's say in UBC, you when you're an international student, you have to be enrolled full time. That
Hmm.
means minimum of 3 courses. And my master's was a course-based master, so you have to do a minimum of 30 credits to graduate, and you have 3 to 4 semesters to do that. It's up to you if you want to do more. But one thing I find about my course is it's different because it's the fee that you pay for each semester is semester-wise fee. It's not per course. So it's like even if you have to take one course, you have to pay for the whole semester. You can take one course or 4 courses, it's not gonna matter. So the
Hmm.
good thing is you can take more courses and you can plan it accordingly. You can plan credits, so you can take harder credits before, and you can take 2 hard courses, one easy course, something like that, so that you don't have a lot of course load and you can still manage through. For me, I would say my second semester, where I had 4 subjects, was the heaviest course load I've had. And it was like I was working more than like 50-hour weeks for my just for my course load, and I was working a part-time job and I was not able to work more than 9 hours. So
Hmm.
it was just like 9 hours of work, and I was just basically surviving on my GIC. Good use of your GIC. So I was just surviving on 9 hours of work, and it was very intense course load, especially for my program, Masters in Engineering, because you learn everything new. There are the building codes are new, the design standards and design philosophies are new. The basics are same though what you learn, but you learn new programming language for each subject. You learn to make presentations. You learn to do assignments every week. It's hard. It's hard for any student.
Definitely. So let's talk about, scholarship opportunities. Does UBC provide scholarship to international students? Because, for every international student to manage their expenses and their fees is a big challenging task. And if you have a higher course load, you cannot work more so for your part-time job, right? So in your case, you are not able to work more than 9 hours. So does scholarship help you? And if yes, are there any scholarships available?
So, for my category, it's like a course-based masters. There are not a lot of options, but if you have a knack for research, you can go into research-based masters, and that opens you up for like a whole new plethora of scholarships. You can apply for your funding scholarship from your research professor. You can apply for university grants. You can apply for the grants from your own country for research. So
Hmm.
it's going to open up a whole bunch of things if you work into a research masters. But that's the thing, defending your thesis and work into, because it's usually longer. It's gonna go up to 3 years if you go from a reputed university, like UBC, University of Toronto, Waterloo, McGill. If you go into master's research base, it's probably gonna take you 3 years at minimum
Hmm.
to get a fruitful master's. But then funding options open up for you. And but I would say for us, the only scholarship that you can avail is like if you score the highest marks in a department, then I think they reimburse you around 3 grand or something. But that's pretty much it. And you can always go for opportunities like teaching assistantship or like academic assistance, where you do small stuff for PhD candidates, and they
Hmm.
would still pay you on hourly basis. and I did
Okay.
not know that until like my last semester. So I was not able to make good use of it. But I did bunch of TAs. It's not a lot of work, and then you still get paid a lot. So you get paid a lot, but the number of hours are restricted, and it's all
Okay.
on campus work, so they don't count. So that's a good
Okay.
option for everyone to they can explore.
So being a teaching assistant can help you to earn a bit of money and then also get an experience, like a professional experience in UBC, right?
Oh yeah, what it counts like, and you also get for whatever period you are a teaching assistant, you get all the benefits of a UBC employee that you say. So
Employee.
you can
Yeah.
avail all the discounts and everywhere as a UBC employee.
So if you want to become a TA, what's the process?
So usually it's a department-wise process. The applications roll out a semester before. Let's say you're enrolling in semester for let's say starting this fall 2023, then the application deadline is in around May. So let's say if you have an admit from UBC, while you're doing your visa process, you can also look into the applications for TA. You can express your interest, you can attach your resume, and if you have prior teaching experience, which I did, I used to teach in India. So I did that, that works in your favor. So you can
Mm,
attach that, slam an application together, attach your transcript, and just hope for it to get better
hmm
and hope you hear back from someone. If not, and if you're interested in some course, you can also directly reach out to a professor. But let's say
hmm
usually professors, what they do, they want to work with their PhD candidates. So PhD candidates work with them for like 5, 6 years. If they have a rolling candidate from last year, they were gonna go with them. But luckily, if it's a larger course, if it's an undergrad class, they usually hire like 5 to 6 assistants, and that might be your chance. And
Okay, that's good to know. And once you graduate from UBC, does UBC help you in any way to get a job? Do they recommend you to some places, or if the co-op opportunities provided by UBC, do they help you to eventually get converted into a full-time offer?
so that's a double-edged sword with co-op. You so for co-ops, whatever time you're there with the company you're learning, they don't expect. But let's say if you perform well in the company, then that's on you to convert that into a job offer.
Hmm
UBC got you until that co-op door, but taking it from there is going to be usually the candidate's responsibility. I've
hmm
seen people getting like offers from the co-ops that they work for. I've seen people getting referrals from their co-op to work in another company. Let's say I work in a company, they have a co-op opportunity, but they don't have a full-time opportunity. And I
hmm
work in that company too. I know someone who work in another company, they will give you referral. But again, once you get out of UBC, the only thing that you're gonna take away is UBC tag on your resume and your on your degree, and
hmm
that's the only thing that's gonna get your foot in the door. But while you are at UBC, you can make use of co-op opportunities.
Okay. So once you graduated from UBC, you had a bit of experience working as an EIT, civil EIT, right? Engineering training in Canada. And then you switched to project management, project coordination, which is your current profession. So you have experience from both fields. So how different it is, and what is your overview on which field one should go to?
So it's a very good question, I would say, because once you're working as a like once you're studying and once you're doing all your assignments and stuff, the thing that you look forward most to is like how would I be doing things when I would go into the work environment, like
Hmm
the workforce. But when you once to enter the workforce, you realize that things are way different than what you've studied. So your expectation starts to fall a little bit. But having said that, I still enjoyed working as a structural engineer. It was fun. It was a lot of learning too. But what I realized, like, it so when you work on a consultant side or a design side for an engineering firm, after a point it becomes repetitive. But once you work in project management, because I have a personality, like I want to go ahead and talk to people, like make lots of connections. That's who I am. So for someone like me who wants to interact with people, stay in the opportunity, and still be in the construction industry, I think project management would be the way to go. um, Having said that, I'm still exploring my options. I like both sides of it.
hmm
So it's very different. It's different. When you work in consultant side, it's like you're dealing with a lot of your staying in your room, just doing your own design, dealing with your computer, and then just replying to emails. But you're working in construction, when you're working as a project coordinator, you deal with a lot more people. You deal with money a lot more. There you're
hmm
dealing with design a lot more. So it's
Yeah.
different in that sense.
but both are regulated professions. One in one
Both, yeah.
like your EIT, you get regulated or registered under UBC for your project management, project coordination. You can apply for certifications like CAPM and PMP,
Mhm,
which will be great to know for people who are in your field or in any field, because project management can be used in any field. So I
mhm,
would like to end the interview with a last question. Based on your experience, what is one
mhm.
piece of advice you would like to give to an international student watching this video and trying to prepare to move to Canada?
So do your homework, do your research. It's not all milk and roses, it's not all good, and it's not all bad too. So it's like you have to figure out what your personal path is going to look like. But again, what I would suggest is finding a mentor. Mentor is not a person who's going to guide you through everything. Maybe a person who has been through a similar experience than yours, and then they would be able to teach you things that you would understand at your own understanding, at your own frequency. So I'm saying, like, just find someone like you who've been there for some time. They can teach you some things, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a hell of a journey. So you will learn a lot. You will be alone. You will be heartbroken. You will be stressed out, and it will be raining in Vancouver. So it's all good every
Yeah,
time.
that's a great piece of advice, Utkarsh. And thank you once again for, allotting your time and doing this interview. I'm sure your tips will be very helpful for UBC graduates and as well as other international students who are planning their move to Canada. Thanks again.
Most definitely. Nice to see you, Harsh.
Thanks, you too. So thank you so much for watching this video till the end, guys. I really hope you like this video, and to get regular updates, please subscribe to our channel and share this video to other aspirants who want to apply to UBC. We will keep uploading videos about different universities, so please follow us. Till the next video, take care. Bye bye.